History isn't just written by kings. Sometimes it's written by a single weapon. Enter the longbow. For over a century, this weapon defined the battlefields of Europe, turning commoners into kingslayers. While bows are ancient, the English longbow was a refined forensic evolution of the Welsh design. It was carved from a single piece of yew, using the wood's natural properties as a primitive composite material. The outer sapwood handled the tension, while the inner heartwood handled the compression. It was engineering brilliance. The iconic D-shaped cross-section ensured that the bow didn't snap under the immense pressure of the draw. Training was a lifelong commitment. By law, every able-bodied man in England had to practice every Sunday. Starting from childhood, these men literally grew into their weapons, their bodies conforming to the bow. The physical toll was immense, leaving permanent skeletal deformities that modern archaeologists still find today. Drawing a longbow wasn't about arm strength. It was about leaning the entire weight of the body into the wood. Then came the projectile. A yard-long shaft of ash, fletched with goose feathers and tipped with steel. The bodkin point was a forensic masterpiece, designed specifically to focus all kinetic energy into a tiny square point. At 200 yards, it could pierce plate armor, turning a knight's expensive defense into his own cage. But the longbow's true power wasn't just in the individual shot. It was in the massed volley. 1,000 archers could rain down 6,000 arrows every minute, creating a literal storm of death. The sound alone was terrifying. A deep, rhythmic thrumming followed by the hiss of falling arrows. The first major test was at Crécy. The outnumbered English forces stood their ground against the pride of France. 15,000 French crossbowmen and knights were decimated before they even reached the English line. Crécy changed everything. The armored knight, once the master of the battlefield, was now vulnerable to a commoner. 10 years later at Poitiers, the pattern repeated. Defensive positioning and the longbow captured the King of France himself. But the most iconic moment came in 1415 at Agincourt. A narrow field, heavy mud, and a wall of stakes. The French knights were funneled into a killing zone, trapped by the mud and the relentless English volleys. Against all odds, the longbow secured one of history's most improbable victories, cementing its legend forever. Beyond the battlefield, it shifted the social order. The yeoman class rose in importance, empowered by their unique skill. Economically, it was a bargain. You could arm 1,000 archers for the cost of a single fully equipped knight. The logistics were massive. England produced millions of arrows, harvested entire forests of yew, and employed thousands of fletchers. But even the longbow's reign had to end. The arrival of early gunpowder weapons signaled a new, noisier era of warfare. While the bow was still more accurate, anyone could be trained to fire a gun in weeks. The era of the master archer was fading. The longbow left a legacy that remains part of English national identity, a symbol of the common man's power. The weapon that changed warfare overnight remains a forensic testament to the power of engineering, training, and tactical grit.